You've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I'd...
Oh, look, another, I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
Over the weekend, there was a press conference for this fight, and UFC middleweight champ, his name is Sean Strickland, he got into it with a reporter, a woke reporter, of course, trying to get him on some past comments. And I want you to watch how it doesn't even matter if you completely agree with him or not, or agree with the reporter or not. I want you to watch how he fights back on the woke reporter and then think, does that remind you of a certain orange man who's suddenly surging?
We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I'd...
Oh, look, another, I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and some would say...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse...
Let me know, are you gay?
Can I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking, this is a part of, are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak man, dude. You're part of the problem. You elected Justin Trudeau, like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just pathetic. And the fact that you have no backbone, and has he shut down your country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some stupid like that, go yourself. Move the on, man.
Really, answer the question.
He's well spoken, I'll give him that much. Okay, it doesn't even matter if you agree with all of the specifics, and I could get into some of the nuance there. That's not really the point. The broader point is that this guy is going after the media in a very Trumpian way, and that led to me, when he's talking about what Trudeau did with the truckers and everything else, he's basically saying it's people like you that led to this effed up situation in this country, and then thousands of people start chanting F Trudeau. It's like there's a connection there. There's a connection between how those things are happening, and there's also a connection that finally a whole bunch of us, and it doesn't mean that I agree with everything that this Strickland guy says or I agree with everything that Trump says, but enough of us are just like, enough. F you people, not just F Trudeau. F all of you people who have guilted us and gone after us and tried to shut down our bank accounts and everything else. So the problem, of course, with the woke is that they are so fixated on these faux social issues that they actually ignore real tyranny when it comes from the real tyrants. But I want to show you, we'll get into that in just a sec. I want to show you a bit more from that press conference with Strickland, because he's also not having it with Bud Light and the trans thing.
But I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October, when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship, that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what, and will know what they stand for.
This guy's like, nah, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your bull you're peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right. Chicks have the world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. Like, dude, this guy is the enemy. You want to look at the enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there, asking these stupid questions.
Okay, again, you don't have to agree with exactly how he's saying it or anything else. But he is like directionally right. And also, again, it illustrates the broader point of enough people have had enough of this. And when I talk about how I don't watch the NBA anymore because everything's been so politicized, it's like, do you think that this guy, when he was training to be a great fighter for years and years and years, thought that, mostly when he would be giving press conferences before the biggest fight of his life, he'd be talking about whether girls are boys and boys are girls and everything else. So wokeism has infected literally everything in society, from the military down to the UFC and everything in between. And now people have had enough.